Nous sommes de retour au championnat canadien ici à la ville de Québec. We're back here for some final games in the BC5 category at the Canadian Championship here in Quebec City. The athletes are now currently in their warm-up session. There is one athlete has now completed her warm-up, and we are facing here Terrie Hefford from Newfoundland versus Giovanni de Sero from Ontario. It will be his turn shortly to start his warm-up. So Giovanni is practicing different areas of the court right now. He went to the middle and now is playing some balls to the side of the court. This is his warm-up session. Okay, so we're done with the warm-up, and these athletes have 4-minute ends. So all athletes will have 4 minutes to play each their balls, 6 of them. And so we are going to get ready with, it's going to be Terrie Hefford from Newfoundland starting with the jack in the first end. And now the referee has indicated the permission for Terrie to advance into the box and start the game. And there it is. The first jack is thrown out for this game. Donc, une première balle bien placée sur le côté de l'adversaire. So her first ball is on the side of the opponent, but we're not on the jack. So Giovanni will have an opportunity to get to the jack, maybe with this shot. So again, the goal is to force your opponent to take more than one ball to beat your point, and that red was kind of blocking him, so I wasn't sure about that, but it looks like the way he hit that, it was the fact that he was being blocked by the blue ball a bit. So he quickly makes some adjustment. This is a player with experience. he won't just sit there and repeat the same mistake and expect a different outcome. He moves around in his box. He uses his box fully to his advantage. Missed the target there, trying to get into the other side. Looks like that red ball was well placed on a part of Terrie. Taking already 3 balls are shot, and Giovanni hasn't had the chance to beat that or retake the point. Donc ici, on a un athlète ça fait 3 balles qu'il lance pour essayer de contrer et reprendre le point sur cette manche, sur la première balle de Terrie. Elle a fait quand même un bon travail de la placer dans la ligne de vue de Giovanni. Donc il y a du travail à faire, à essayer d'aller d'un côté ou de l'autre. Et quand on va du côté puis on n'a rien à s'accoter, les balles roulent et parfois se trouvent trop loin derrière. Donc maintenant, il lui reste 2 balles. Il est allé avec une poussée. He a tenté tout pour le tout, so Giovanni tried everything he could to get around that first ball, and he was not able to take possession of the point and of the jack, so there was no turnover. It is now Terrie's job. She is pretty open there in a way that she just has to find out what the closest blue ball is and throw in any of her reds within that distance, and she could score quite a bit of points here. There you go. She's in for a second point now. We'll see how many points she can score. Take her time. There's another one. So this could be a very, very strong start to this end. That took a little bit of a bad bounce. I'm not sure if that one's going to be scoring. We'll have to measure that. But definitely she's starting here with a very strong first end if she ends up scoring big here. Okay, now that might cause her to be a little bit blocked on her own, but she can push that in. She just needs a little push on that one and it could score. It's very important when we start we tried three balls maximum to turn over the point and start thinking about the other balls to use them as a defense. And there she is. She went in for the push and quite possibly scoring here 4 points exactly. So she takes the lead here. Terrie Hefford from Newfoundland takes the lead 4-0 against Giovanni from Ontario. So here we saw an open play, an athlete trying to continuously try to get in there and take the point away, and used all 6 balls to do that. And might have started thinking about a little bit of defensive play, setting up a defense, blocking Terrie's access to the jack, and minimizing the score here. So that's a big end for her. 4 points. It puts a lot of pressure on the on your opponent. Donc ici, ça va être à Giovanni de prendre le cochonnet et de le placer sur le terrain. Ils vont décider avec son entraîneur quel est le meilleur choix de stratégie. Puis encore basé sur ses forces. So the coach and the athletes are discussing where it might be a strategy to put in his jack, but also taking into consideration their own strength. So Giovanni will now be asked to put in the jack in play. In about 14 seconds, there was the athletes enjoy a bit of a timeout between ends. So stay tuned for the rest of the afternoon. We have a BC2 semifinals. We have BC5 and the BC2 gold medal match on this court. So at 1:45, at 3 and 4:30, we're going to be looking at a lot more and interesting games to come up. Okay, so Giovanni goes right in front in the V, right close where his strength is. And that's a very good first ball. It's on the jack. It's on his opponent's side. It's covering probably 99.9% of the ball. So it will definitely be a difficult one. But again, within 2 balls, you can give a good push, create some separation, and get in there. So trying to get a piece of the jack there, and then fell short of the target and went a little bit long. Yes, definitely is important with the height that Terrie has on her chair. She needs to back up so that the ball don't bounce over the targets. Because she's an overhand thrower. Both of them are overhand throwers. That's a good placement. Okay, she's in the lead. She's being a little defensive here, making sure she has to definitely block the right. If she's going to just play more defensively because of her lead, the goal would be to put some balls on the right there. So she needs to. She might have just decided, you know what? I'm going to just be defensive, block his way to the jack in order to create more points. There it is. Okay, so as you see, these players have their strategies very strong on their side. Like Terrie's being very smart about this. Given the different situation, if she was behind, she'd be a little bit more aggressive. Now that she's leading by 4, and she's going to just, decide to be a little bit more cautious and just create kind of a defensive wall around the jack. And she closes up the gap. So that was that. All the balls have been thrown by Terrie. Now we'll see what Giovanni is able to do with this the wall. Again, he does have the he can probably get in between, I think there's still a bit of a gap between that row of red balls. If he can climb and sit behind that wall, he's in a position where he can score another point. So he has this little shot that he does, kind of like a little lob, like he just did. He's able to get on top of the balls. He's just opened it up for him. Yeah. So that's what he did. He kind of like this is his lob, and in spite of the defensive move from Terrie, Giovanni was able to get through, and there it is. It's by playing short with his ability to lob, he just opened up the play, and now he's open to do more points. So there's a lot of space for Giovanni to score right now, because all he needs to do is get into that pocket somewhere just beyond those red balls, like he's doing right there. Perfect. He's got possibly 2, even 3 points there to be confirmed. There's another one. Ouch. Good play from Giovanni's part. I know Terrie tried desperately to block him, but he's got that lob, and at that distance, he's a master at it. Donc Giovanni a un lob là, incroyable où il peut contrôler ses balles. Et là, on vient juste de vraiment faire une manche incroyable, presque parfaite ici au niveau de 5 points. So 5 points for Giovanni, taking the lead 5-4 in this end. So very strong. So again, within those 2 shots, that first ball was crucial. Forced Terrie to use all her balls to move this situation and to take the point, but she was unable. So she, after a few balls, decides to go defensive. She decided to go a little bit more defensive. So as we see here, a very good end played by both players. In the event of a perfect first ball, Terrie attempted to move the situation, create some space, and then after that, with her lead, opted for more of a defensive play. But Giovanni's lob is powerful. He was able to push that jack back and create some space for himself, and then to score 5 points in an end is quite the feat. So good on him for being able to come back from that. Again, demonstrating a lot of self-control, a lot of concentration, the mental toughness that it takes in order to not get frazzled by one end, 4 points, and just get on with the game. Take care of the process, one ball at a time. And that's what he did, and both players did a very, very good job demonstrating that in the first and the second end. So in a few minutes, we'll be starting our third end here. Close game. Good playing by both athletes.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay, so pretty much at the same spot for Terrie. She decides to go right at the same area, a little bit more in front of her, I think, this one. And now this first ball again, just come up a little short on the target, but it didn't harm her last time. But this one is not not blocking Giovanni at all. So when you're going to go short, you want to go short on your opponent's side if you're going to come up short. But right now, looks like he's had a clear view of the jack, and definitely a good position for Giovanni to be in. So you saw Giovanni, he can shoot overhand, he can shoot underhand, he can lob. That's pretty complete when you can use different kind of shooting technique. He gets a lot of power in his shot when he's bowling, a lot more accuracy too. And when he's going overhand, he gets power. So he mixes it up. Obviously his lob is not as strong in the back when you go further, but I'm sure that now just needs to split that red in the jack. Get in there on Terrie's side. Donc on a remarqué que Giovanni a des bons lancers. Lui a 3 styles. Il peut utiliser une variation de lancer. On a vu qu'il peut lancer par en haut, il peut lancer par en bas, dans le pendule, puis aussi il peut utiliser les mains doubles. Exactement qu'est-ce qu'on devait faire ici. Le travail est fait. Ça y a pris 3 balles, mais il aurait pris le point. En ayant ces 3 sortes de lancers-là, il peut vraiment différentes situations. Ils peuvent satisfaire les besoins en tant que lob, en tant que de puissance. So it is really a positive thing to have different ability, different ways that you can throw the ball. So Terrie has an exposed jack, and if she can push that jack back and have her ball follow, we're looking at a situation where that jack is going to be protected. A little bit better protected. Of course, we're talking about Giovanni here, who has an arsenal of shots. A little bit too much to the left, missed the target. The jack is the target right now. Pushing that jack back towards the red and having your red ball follow. Okay, it's already scoring, no big deal. And now she has to hit that jack, protect it, and have her ball follow. Nice ball. See. Okay. Again, every time you're using a lot of power, the overhand, the ball hits hard on the ground, and it could turn on you. Not as much as when you're a bowler or an underhand thrower. You tend to have a lot more uniform flow towards the target. Again, she's trying. She has to get on that jack. She has to get to the right. So maybe coming out to C. Donc Terrie, ça fait plusieurs balles qu'elle essaye de frapper le cochonnet pour le couvrir. Mais elle ne réussit pas. Elle s'est trouvée toujours à gauche de sa cible. Donc là, elle va essayer de positionner sa chaise, prendre un peu de temps, respirer encore. BC4, BC3, BC5 ont une habileté de rester calme pas toutes, là, mais c'est certainement une bonne chose qu'on doit pratiquer en tout temps. Rester calme et voir le lancer exécuté. Donc, ça a été très difficile pour elle d'arriver à la marque. So, she's had to use her 6 balls, so that Giovanni did a good job by forcing his opponent to take a lot of shots. So he's now contemplating what his next move is going to be. There's not a lot of danger for Giovanni here. He can split the. He just doesn't want to put that jack back towards the red. So either he's going to draw in. If he could split and send it to the right, the jack to the right, and get himself in a position, or put one on the right of the jack first, use the blue that's on the right, park it there, and have himself a good base for follow-up balls. So that's good. That's good. That's all good. So he has something, a ball to bank off of now. Right now he's got something, even if he moves it a bit, it's still going to score, and it's also going to stop his other balls from overshooting. So it's got a nice little pocket there. Exactement. Exactement. That's exactly what needs to be done. So he can push that blue, one of his blue balls. That's the one on the right. You can push it back and get the score 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. So if he scores another 4, there it is. So looks like 3. You'll have to check that red ball, see if it's, but it's 3 exactly. So he advances by 3 other points. So we're looking at Giovanni taking the lead of 8-4 here in the third end. Very important to take away points on your opponent's personal honor jack. So that's what he managed to get to score 3 off of Terrie's jack, and it really puts him in a good position for their last hand. So as we see here, we have a perfect example of taking your time, using the ball smartly, really taking. I know that for Terrie was a difficult task to try to get in there, but her aim was a little bit off, and created an opportunity for Giovanni to easily get in there, create a bank for himself. Like he can push in some more balls, and he ended up being able to score 3 points. So good play by both players, and Giovanni capitalizing on some scoring opportunities here. Donc Giovanni a fait un bon travail de stratégie, de calme, prendre son temps. Là, on va voir qu'est-ce qu'il va jouer. S'il va jouer encore dans la ligne de V, il est en train de discuter avec son entraîneur la prochaine stratégie. So the coaches have to make it off the court within the time. So he's got 5 seconds to get to the end or off the court. So walking off to the side gives him extra time, and there it is. Okay. So that's what I was explaining, that the coaches can go see their players, but they have that 1 minute. They have to be off and cleared away. No warning. You have to be gone at the end of that 1 minute mark. So I think it's going to go more to his right. And again, nailing that first ball will be very important here. Okay, so that one is not covering the jack as much. Terrie will have a good sight of that jack. And being a right-hander, shouldn't be too difficult for her to put her ball on the jack. We'll see what happens. If anything, maybe she wants to go in that space, but something's going on with her aim, as she's been a little bit off. Again, the overhand throwers are a bit of a disadvantage because of the impact the ball does on the floor. Can create some deviation there, but she wasn't lined up. There you go. Using the blue to stop the ball is a smart move. Now building towards the jack. She needs to score a lot of points here, so this is definitely not okay. So she's in there for 1, but that jack is still exposed, and all Giovanni has to do is put 1 in there, take back the point, and and it leaves Terrie with only 3 balls left. So that was good. You know, the strategy. The jack was good, so it forced Terrie to throw out 3 balls. So only 3 left. So that puts a position where the points that she can actually score limited. And now he's just pushed the jack back, and she has very little sight of it. She'll be able to have to push into her blue, possibly. So this is going to be a challenge for her. He makes it look very easy, that Giovanni. Donc encore ici une bonne stratégie. Gio, le cochonnet était ouvert, hein, il a juste poussé. Puis ça fait en sorte que Terrie est un peu plus bloquée. Parce que dans son angle, elle peut pousser la rouge, mais elle va finir par pousser la bleue. Ça c'était... I was thinking that she's probably going to push the blue, but that's a little bit of room. She can get and use that blue again to bank off and go right to the jack. So she can push the blue out, and that's what she did. So good playing from Terrie's part. Again, she's in this game. She's shot per shot. Okay, donc maintenant Giovanni, il y a l'espace encore de passer entre les 2 rouges. So he still has some space between the 2 reds to get to the jack. And if he gets the right angle, he can even push that jack far enough to hide it and score 2. Because they go roll behind or close to his blue that's in the back there. And we're looking at the possible, if he gets in that gap, pushes that jack back, on a une chance pour 2 points ici. On va commencer par faire sa lancée. Donc il va y aller juste en vérifier. C'est assez. Il a juste passé encore. So just a little push on his blue, as long as he get this point back. And again, he's not in danger, even if he doesn't get this end, it's impossible for Terrie at this point to score more than 1 or 2. Very low possibility of scoring 4. So he pushes his blue forward. And now he's regained the point. Terrie has 1 ball left, donc Terrie il reste une balle. On va voir qu'est-ce qu'elle va pouvoir faire avec ça. Mais c'est sûr que c'est difficile pour elle de compter plus qu'un point. Elle va venir voir. So she's going to come out and see the play. Again, there's not a lot of option here for Terrie to push in her red, maybe try to get her red to go into the jack. Probably what she's going to aim at. Taking a chance, taking the time to breathe. Donc, j'estime qu'elle va essayer de frapper un peu sa rouge pour la faire passer vers le cochonnet, pour reprendre le point. Mais elle manque la cible complètement. Donc, c'est au tour à Giovanni. C'est à lui de décider. Il lui reste 2 balles. Ouais, 2 balles. Il va aller voir. S'assurer que c'est bel et bien lui qui a le point, parce que c'est déjà arrivé. L'arbitre se trompe. L'athlète dit OK, puis là, on vient pour mesure, puis oups, c'était l'autre qui avait le point. Mais ici, c'est assez clair que here it's very clear that Giovanni he's conceding the 2 other balls. He doesn't need to score anymore. So Giovanni scores another point here, so the final score will be 9-4, and he concedes his 2 last shots. And this marks the end of this game in BC5 with the victory going to Giovanni Di Sero from Ontario. Aside for that first end, so aside from the first end, we have witnessed here pretty much from Giovanni's perspective, a perfect game. Very well controlled. At the first end gave him a little trouble, conceded some points there, but quickly readjusted his game plan, and also increased his rate of success of his throws, and it gave him the win here. The comeback from 4-point deficit is not easy, but he's got the mental toughness to do it. Donc Giovanni ici, sauf la première manche, il a démontré ici l'habileté d'un match presque parfait, avec des bonnes premières balles, avec des bons déplacements, avec de rester calme, de revenir d'une partie de 4 points. Donc félicitations aux 2 joueurs, très belle partie, et à la prochaine.